it shouldn't be on the law. It shouldn't be a law because to me, the states that put that on the books are in some way trying to discourage you from exercising your Second Amendment right. Because let's face it, the moment you do that, you've complicated that stop. The moment you do that, you put that police officer on edge needlessly. Now, we got some callers on the phone. Please stand by. I want to get this out because I don't want to run the risk of not getting this out. So let me just explain to you exactly what I saw when I looked at that video. That police officer was told by Philando Castile, I have a permit, I have a firearm. If you look at that video closely, that police officer did not overreact to that. He just said, I think he might have said, okay. And then his voice raised when he said, don't take it out. But the first time he said, don't take it out, his voice was not really raised a lot, but he was just trying to tell him, don't take it out. Well, apparently, Philando Castile continued to reach for it, and then his voice raised again. He said, don't take it out. And then he said it a third time, and if you look at the video, he reaches in the window with his left hand, and you've got to assume that he's doing that to try to grab Philando Castile's arm so that he will not take the weapon out. He said, don't take it out, don't take it out, don't take it out. And at that point, he pulls back from him because obviously he must have the weapon out at that point, and he fires. And he fires multiple times, of course. But I've always said, when you get into a situation where you have a potential gun battle, nobody who's experienced with firearms is going to fire once. They're going to fire until they feel the threat has been completely dealt with. Once it gets to that point, to me, you can't second guess. Well, he fired 5 shots. Well, once you think there's some sort of threat, once your mind has clicked, you believe that you're under threat, you don't pull the weapon out and then shoot once and say, did I get you? I mean, you're in a potential gun battle, and it's, you just can't second guess that kind of situation. Now, here was the problem, folks. Philando Castile should have never reached for that weapon. And I think he was poorly trained and poorly taught, because what he should have done was, once he told the officer that, had his hands where that officer could see his hands, and then follow that officer's instructions. And apparently what he did was, after he told him about it, started reaching for it. And so, folks, it's tragic. It's horrible. I hate that happened. You can't put a cop in jail for that. I'll tell you what we got to do. We got to make sure we train these people who are getting gun permits. Train them in gun safety. Because if he really knew gun safety, there would have never been an issue of his reaching for that weapon. If I had to tell an officer that I've got a weapon, you can rest assured I'm not going to reach for the thing. I'm going to be still and let him figure out how he wants to handle it from there. Man, to me, life just lost for no reason. The officer may have had other options, but see, just because somebody tells you they've got a gun permit, what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. You don't know this person. You don't know if that's real. You don't know if they're trying to get you to let your guard down so they can pull the thing out and shoot you. You don't know. So the officer told him the only thing he could tell him, the best thing to tell him under that circumstance, don't take it out. And apparently, based on the video at least, he continued to do that. And that officer even reached into the car first, trying to stop him from taking it out. And he must have gotten that gun out. And when he did, that officer felt like, I don't know what your intentions are. I had no choice. Wrong judgment, yeah. But was it a reasonable judgment under the circumstances? In my view, as tragic as it is, yeah. It was a reasonable judgment under the circumstances, the kind of judgment that, frankly, I think I could have made myself. And that's the standard, isn't it? Could a reasonable person have acted the same way? And I think the answer is yes.